How's it going? So there's gonna be a two-part series where we're gonna do. One is gonna be React through CDN. So if you want to create a small project, you can do it that way. It requires no imports whatsoever. And the second one is gonna be a replication of what Create React App does, only manually, right? So let's do the first one. So completely from scratch, how do you import React into HTML? Right, so let's do folder React to HTML. Okay, so it's gonna load up. Is it working? Yeah, okay. Cool, so the first thing we do is, so all information I'm gonna be getting from here, and I'm gonna link this in the description below, so you'll be able to see. Okay, so the first thing we do is we create a file, I don't know, index.html, for example. And then just put in your HTML template. Actually, you can use it from here. You see? We're gonna use this from here. Well, I'll do it from start manually, so you'll be able to see. So I have a HTML. There you go. Okay, we do not need CSS, and we do not need, at the moment. We will need index later, but not at the moment. Okay, so let's go live, maybe. Let's do a test like h1, blah, just to make sure that it's working. Okay, so this is working. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is you need to import those core scripts. Now you can get them in here. So we're just gonna copy and paste. Essentially, that's all you need to do, right? In reality. So we're gonna put it where the scripts are. So now React and Babel is loaded in your HTML, right? So the next thing we need to do is we need to create a div that will host your application, basically, right? So let's do root, right? So let's do div id root. So this will be header one. Now you don't need to do that, but like you need this one here. Okay. Now we need to render root. So we'll put a script. We'll put a script in here to render, let's say, well, let's call it app, honestly. Yeah, this would be easier. App. So essentially, now remember this code here. Type text Babel, otherwise it's not going to work. So now this div is going to be rendering the whole app, right? So now what are we missing? We are missing the app component. So now we just need to create app component. App.js. Create functional component, I think. Create React functional, yeah. No. What was it? Oh, React functional component. Like this, I think. Yeah. Okay, so important things to notice is that you do not need import, like this, and you do not need to export anything. So you need to remove all of this mumbo jumbo. Okay? So the final thing is we need to add app into our HTML. So this is where your component imports are gonna go. Component imports including root, right? So app is our root component. So now we just need to import. So import is script. Again, remember, you have to put in the type, otherwise it's not going to work. So it's going to be text double, and then we close the script. Oh, source equals app.js. Well, wherever you put this thing, that's where you want to point it to. Okay, so now that's it. There it is, done. So essentially what you need to do, right, the most important parts are this thing here, which is React scripts CDN. Right, so once you import this, React is available throughout your entire application. Then you want to render it through the div, right? So this is the second step. You want to render the app through the render command or whatever. Okay, and then you want to create a root component, which is app, which is in here. And remember to remove all the like export, all the traditional like imports, exports, all that mumbo jumbo. It's not gonna work with the CDN, so you have to remove it. And then import the component into the HTML. Right, so that's it. So the second thing is I'll cover how to... Let's create another component. Alright, let's just create a new file. It's called home.js. So let's do React functional component again. We want to remove all of this. Okay, so you see we have app, right? Now we want to display home under it, right? So we need to import component into the HTML, right? So we copy app and then we put home in here. Now this is why this process is not very efficient, because every single component that you ever have, you have to manually import it into the HTML template in here. So imagine you have 100 components, you're effectively going to have 100 imports in here. This is why this is not the best way to do it. But I'm just showing you that, you know, if you want something very, very quick, nothing fancy, this is the way to do it. Okay, so now the question is, will app see home? And the answer is yes, it will. So we're just going to do like this. Whoops, standard. Which one? This is app, and then this is going to be home. Oh, whoopsie. I trolled. I imported home into home. My apologies. So this is home. Now we go into app. We want to change this. This is app. Let's put it like this. There you go, you see? Basically, like with other components, as long as you import them into here, the app will be able to see them. In fact, I think every component is going to be able to see them. So let's do about whatever, right? React functional component. Get rid of this, get rid of this. Now we need to import. So this will be about. So the question is, will home see about? And I think it will. I haven't tested it, but I reckon it should. So this will be about like this. Yeah, you see, it works. So basically, like, as long as you import the components in here, it's going to work. right? But remember, everything has to go through app, because app is like your core component that hosts the entire application, right? So you see, if we get rid of home, like right now, home is rendering about, right? So if you look at home, about is in home. So if we're gonna remove home, about is gonna be removed as well. Yeah, you see. So remember, like, everything has to be going through the app component, right? But I mean, not really, but I mean, but you get the picture. You get the picture, right? So app is your like parent component, and it hosts everything, because remember, React is a single page application, so everything goes through single div basically. Like this div here effectively is your entire application, it sits in it. Right? Alright, so the final one is, how do you actually use React? Right? So we want to create state, for example. How do you actually do it? Okay, so it's standard, right? So let's do count, set count equals use state. Oh yeah, so in here you need to do like this, React dot use state, and then 0. So you can use dot React dot to, and now you have like React dot gives you access to React like hooks basically. Anything to do with React, you can access it through React dot and whatever you want. Because remember, React is essentially a gigantic object, and you're just importing functionality out of it. And then naturally we want, I don't know, let's do an RHR. Let's do count. Whoopsie. Now let's do button plus. Let's do click like this. Okay, there you go. You see? So essentially everything is going to work as long as you use React dot or whatever. And remember to import, and remember when you're importing components, they have to be type text Babel, otherwise it doesn't work. And this one here also has to be type Babel. And that's it. Okay, take care. Bye bye. So this is part 1. We're gonna do part 2 next. Take care.